Hey, everybody. It is your girl, your favorite, the one and only, Teresa Green. And I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for tapping in and tuning in to another episode in Bree's World. Listen, I told y'all at the beginning that we were going to bring you 12 episodes in this new season of Freeze World. And guess what this episode's number is? 5. We're on the 5th episode. Oh my God. And I have been having an amazing time conversating and communicating with all of you who have been interacting with me here YouTube, and those of you who have been taking in the content on my TikTok and Instagram pages. It's just been absolutely fabulous, and I have been blown away from some of the things that you all have shared with me in my DMs, and so I want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you for those that have commented down in the community conversation section down below. For the collective, I honor and I bless each and every one of you. Listen, we have had an amazing time. I told you all from the beginning that these initial sessions, or these initial episodes rather, I will be sharing story times with you because I need you all to understand with clarity the angle and the perspective that I'm coming from, and it will help you understand why I talk to you in the manner and in the fashion that I do, and why I'm absolutely so passionate about this information that I'm putting out to you, because I'm not giving you anything that I have not walked out, lived out, and or applied these tools, these tips to my own self. And so that is one of the purposes why we do this show, and we're going to continue on. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you about, how do I want to say this? So we've been sharing about some of the stories that I've walked through when it comes to being in a relationship with somebody that I was married to, or two people that I was married to. We've talked about infidelities, and we've touched on abuse, and really all of those things fall under the umbrella of abuse. But in today's episode, I need to reach out and touch those special someones who need to hear me talk about walking through and maneuvering through the shame and embarrassment of it all. Because I am telling you, oh my God, it is an absolute ordeal. It is an absolute whirlwind. You feel like you are on an emotional roller coaster, going up and going down, going up and going down. And you start feeling like, man, am I going to ever get off this thing? Is life going to ever get better for me? Well, beloved, I'm here to tell you that yes, life shall get better for you. And yes, you will survive. And not only will you survive, as I talked about last week, but you will go from surviving to thriving. And that's the goal. Living a life where you are thriving completely in all aspects, in all areas, and in all experiences. So we're talking about the feeling the shame and walking through the shame and the embarrassment of it all. So I went through those situations of abuse, and people knowing and visibly seeing it on my face. And I'll talk about one of those experiences maybe in the next episode. But in today's conversation, in this context, the background of it is for the individuals who have experienced their partner or their loved one stepping out on them and they did not know. And when they found out, it blew their world up, because that is literally what happened to me. Because you don't think that these people are going to do the things that they're doing. Because why? Because they love you. But let me tell you something: hurt people hurt people, even when they say and or you think that they love you. You get hurt. You get hurt because you are expecting this person to treat you in a fashion and in a manner that they really have not been equipped to do. So I won't go deep, but let me go in and let me talk about this. So finding out that someone who I had given my whole heart to, and then finding out that this person or and these people um, had created other lives outside of our marriage was absolutely astounding. I was absolutely floored. I felt like my life had absolutely crumbled and it was in shambles. And for a minute, that's exactly what it was, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to think. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who I could talk to. It was just a mess. And it was a mess because I never thought that this person would do what they did. And it didn't happen on one occasion. I know of two for sure, but in looking back into the situation now with this new mind that I have, this renewed mind that I have, there probably were other instances, but because I was so dumb, I ignored all of the red flags. And you all know the conversation about the red flags because I talked about it probably 3 episodes ago. So if you haven't watched that episode, I want you to go watch it now. But finding out that somebody that you cared about with everything in your heart and from the very core and fiber of your being, finding out that they are cheating, have been cheating, continually cheat rather, it just messed me up. I felt so embarrassed. I felt so freaking stupid because I was like, Dad, girl, why weren't you paying attention? Why were you being that dumb? Why were you being that slow? Why were you thinking that this person was being that honest with you when the whole time they weren't? They were lying. And I see these things now, and I saw some things in the midst of. But again, what tends to happen sometimes with women, and I'm not speaking for all women because my story is not every woman's story, but oftentimes we are fearful, we are scared, we don't know what to do, and so instead of doing anything, what we do is we settle, which is surviving, which is not thriving. Surviving is living at the bare minimum, living your life within a bare minimum, which that was not ever how your life was destined to be. So here I am finding out, that this person is doing what they've been doing, and they've been doing it for however long that they've been doing it. And there is absolutely no remorse. And then when I think that there is some remorse and I think that things have changed, I find out that is happening again. Oh my God. You talk about feelings of delusion. That was me. I was absolutely delusional. And so I'm dealing with this and I'm feeling dumb. I'm feeling so embarrassed um, because I feel like all eyes are on me, and now I feel like they've been on me for a particular reason because I feel like there's other people out in the network that knew what was going on, but they weren't gonna say nothing. Why would they? Some people feel like it's not their business to say anything, especially if they're not connected to you as a close friend, or family member. And so, I'm hurt. The hurt was so deep. I can't even really give you a word to explain it. Maybe the word that I could give you is, my hurt was just absolute darkness. Absolute darkness. I felt like I was falling. This is literally the expression. I felt like I was falling in this deep dark hole, and I'm falling back first, and my head is my face is face forward, but I feel like I'm falling, and I'm doing all of this. I'm doing all of this, and it feels like I'm not going to ever stop falling and land somewhere, some kind of way, so that I can get myself together, so that I can gather my thoughts, so that I can grasp a hold of all of my feelings and emotions that I'm going through, because I'm pissed, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed. I'm like, how in the blue moon could you do something like that to somebody as beautiful and as special and such a precious gift as me? That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. And the struggle was real. And it took me a long time to go through that process of feeling like I'm not falling anymore, and I'm grabbing onto the walls in this hole, so that I can begin to slow the fall down, so that I can stop and get myself to the bottom, so that I can get to my feet, so I can stand. And at this moment, in those moments, I couldn't even stand, but at least be able to fall to my knees, and go through the cries, and go through the wails from the very core of my belly. It When you walk through something like that, it literally shatters your world. It shatters your world, and it changes you. And when you're like me, you get to that place in your life where you say, you know what? You know what, T? F all this. F all this. This is not worth it. You're better than this. We're not doing this no more. And you begin to make some decisions to better yourself. That's the only time when you are able to get a grip of what's going on with you mentally, spiritually, and physically. There's so many emotions, so much mental turmoil that you are going through and experiencing when you're walking through feeling ashamed and embarrassed and stupid, and feeling like you've been living in the land of Delulu, when it comes to dealing with somebody who has stepped out on you and has absolutely no remorse. But yet they say they do, but then you've come to find out that they've been doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, playing in your face, playing in your face. And so that's where, for me, the delulu comes from, because I'm like, how in the world could you have been so freaking delusional to think that? How could you? And that's just the reality of what it is. And so I know you all take time to listen to me, because you know that I'm not going to come on this camera and share parts of my world to you and not be real, but also in my stories give you something tangible that you can take away and apply to yourself, so that you can better yourself and your personal situation. And when I say your personal situation, I'm not talking about the relationship that you're in. You do whatever it is that you got to do when it comes to that. But what I am sharing with you is that in the walking in embarrassment and the shame and being delusional and feeling stupid and dumb and all of that kind of stuff, You got to start having some hard conversations with yourself. Where was your self esteem? Where in the hell is your self confidence? Where in the world did you allow your feelings and knowingness of your self worth fall out the bottom of the bucket? Where did you let it fall? And oftentimes, we as women, when it comes to being wives, for some reason, we tend to allow ourselves to get so caught up. And this is a part of my story, but we allow ourselves to get so caught up in trying to please that man that we start living our lives out for them instead of living for ourselves in the midst of, catch this, being with them. We get lost in the sauce. We get lost in the sauce. You all have no idea how many women that I have been in communication with who have had the same testimony. They didn't know how lost they were until things fell apart with them and they started beginning to discover that they had wrapped their whole life around that man that they was with. And they were like they didn't know what to do, how to live, how to figure stuff out. But listen, when you go through something that changes your life in this fashion and in this magnitude, it will make you get a clue. It will make you get a clue. So that's what this situation and all of these situations that I've gone through since my early 20s, mid to late 20s have done for me is they all have pointed me in the direction to getting a clue and getting myself healed, healthy, and whole while going through my process so that I can now sit here and talk to you in this fifth episode in the new season of Freeze World and give you things that are going to help you that are coming from a healthy place. A healthy place now. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm in a space and in a place in my life where all I can say is thank you. Thank you for allowing me to go through that. Thank you for doing me the way that you did me because you taught me how to be a much, much better woman. A better woman than I was back then. And I know for some of you, you might say, well, that's crazy. But it's real. You know why it's real, folks? Because lives, and in the midst of lifing you, there are some life lessons that you are to learn. And so, my question for you on today is, are you willing to take a reflective look at your life to see what those lessons are that life is trying to teach you? Because what life wants to do is get you into the next place called there, your destiny place, your place of fulfillment, your place of happiness, your place of tranquility, your place of peace, your place of serenity, your place of happiness. It's over there waiting for you, ready to wrap their arms around you and embrace you so that you can begin living the experiences that you've always dreamed of. But guess what? You'll never ever be able to experience and live in that space if you continue to allow yourself to be in situations or in relations with people, places, or things that are doing absolutely nothing but tearing you down, dragging you down, wearing you out mentally, spiritually, and physically. And so, for many of you, you have made a conscious decision, be it you said, this is what I'm going to do, or you didn't say anything, but the decision was made. You have been living a life of survival. You're surviving because you continue to allow yourself to tolerate stuff that you should not be tolerating. And so the question that you got to ask yourself again is why? Why? Why am I doing this? Why do I keep doing this? And I got help. I went to see a counselor in the beginning stages because I needed to figure out what in the world was going on with me, because yeah, I'm experiencing this stuff, some of these things with this person and that person, but just over the course of time I couldn't put all of the blame on them. There were some things in me that I needed to dig out. There were some things in me that I needed to dig out. And so that's one of the reasons why I keep telling y'all that it is imperative that you do your personal internal work. There is no running from that. And that's the problem. A bunch of you are running. You're going from this person to that person, from that person to the next person, from the next person over to this person. And you're not giving yourself time to go through and heal and process, because you don't even know what the hell you want. What you want and what you're looking for is not going to be found in that person. It's in you. Oh my God. What you are looking for and what you desire and what you need, you will only find it in you. And once you get to that place, you are in a place where you're healed, obviously, because you've done your work. But whoever the next person is that you are to align yourself with, if you are even to align yourself with in that manner for something long term, they are going to be another version of healed, healthy, and whole too, and be able to support and build you up and sustain you. Oh God. I know I just said a lot. I know I just said a lot. So I talked about feeling ashamed and all of these descriptive words. You know, I was in a major depression. Oh my God. I was in such a major depression. It wasn't nothing nice. But I always knew in the back of my mind that I was gonna be okay. I just had to keep pushing. I just had to keep taking one step at a time. I had to just keep dealing with one emotion at a time. And sometimes it was multiple different types of emotions that I went through. But I had to go through that again and get through it and be healed of it again, so that I could be able to sit here and speak to you and have this conversation that matters moment with you, because I'm speaking to people who are in dark places, and I'm here to help call you and pull you out of those dark spaces back into the light of your life, so that you can begin to think through some things clearly and figure out, okay, this is what I need to do for me. And these are the conversations that I need to have. And then this is what the plan looks like. And now these are the steps that I'm going to begin walking out. And then you see yourself walking out step by step, walk it out in the midst of fear, in the midst of not knowing, in the midst of learning, catch this, to let go. Oh my God, I hope this is blessing somebody. I hope that this is helping somebody. I hope that this is inspiring somebody. I hope that this is empowering somebody. I hope and I pray that I'm calling a whole lot of you out on the carpet, because it's time. It's time for you to do something. And it's time for you to do it now. You cannot go into closing out this year living the same way that you've been living for the last 6 months, the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years, the last 10 years. Don't you know there's so much goodness waiting on you? I just talked about it. It's waiting on you. It's waiting for you to get over there so they can receive you with open arms. But guess what? You won't ever get there if you remain over here in survivor mode, in tolerations mode, in the land of fear, in the land of I don't know if I can do it. I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So listen, I'm gonna end it right there. I could go on, but I'm gonna end it there. I hope and I pray that many of you who this conversation was meant for, that you do something with it, that it does not fall on deaf ears, that it penetrates to the very core of your hearts and into the very fiber of your being, that you will have enough intestinal fortitude to wake yourself up out of a slumber and a sleep and get your life together, get yourself together, and do something that's going to better you. Okay. So listen, I want to say thank you so much. Listen, if this message, if this conversation was life for you, if it was anything good for you, and even if it was something bad for you, and you were like, I don't agree with what you said, I don't care. Listen, I want you to drop down in those comments right now and talk back to me. And if you're not following me on my social media pages, then I'm going to strongly encourage you right now to go follow me on TikTok and Instagram. TikTok and Instagram. But even more so than that, because you're with me right here on YouTube in Freeze World, I want you to, because for many of you, this will be your first time experiencing me. And for those of you who are already a part of the community and involved in the collective, I want you to do these things for me. There's 4 things. It don't cost you no money, but it sure will help us go and grow together. I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to like. I want you to share. And I want you to comment. Let everybody know. Send this out to those in your circle of influence who needs to hear what we just talked about. So until next week, have an awesome and amazing life. Bye.